What's up, everybody? How you doing? Since they've been in a place to be, today is a very, well, it's not as sad as yesterday, but, it's still a sad day a little bit. Lots of things going on in the world. Today, but, it's still a sad day a little bit. I'm, watching this on my iPad at the same time, just so I don't miss any questions that anybody might ask. But what's going on, Angel? But it's definitely a sad day. It's been a very, 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 very rough year. 2020 has been off the chain. 2020 has been completely bananas and crazy. But I'll just wait a couple seconds wherever you are in the world. You can just put an emoji or whatever down there, or let me know where you're at in the world, where you're tuning in from. But just gonna talk about one of our heroes, one of our modern heroes passing away. So just let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from, and we're going to get this started. What's up, Big Dave? Hope you're doing great, sir. Martial arts teacher out there in the USA, doing big things. But yeah, it's been a rough year, So and the thing about this year is that it seems like you have a chance to mourn, or you have a chance to or as soon as you have a chance to mourn, or as soon as you even have a chance to feel bad or feel sad about something and start recovering from it, it's like the next day or the day after that or the week after that, like something else crazy happens. It's like, can you get a break? Well, this year just give us a break. I don't know if it will, but it's this year is crazy. So just like many of you, I woke up yesterday, or I started seeing posts, and in today's world, you just don't know. Like, is it fake news? Is it real? I mean, I don't know how many times I've seen, pictures of, Sylvester Stallone or Arnold Schwarzenegger or Chuck Norris, where somebody says that they passed away, and then you go look it up, and it's just some hoax that somebody's passing around, right? So I had to ask, I'm like, is this really real? And then I started seeing it everywhere. I saw Chadwick Boseman's official page on Facebook and Twitter and everything, where his family logged in for him and said, he did actually pass away. And it's tough, man. And, I know a lot of people don't really understand. I don't mean to make it political or anything like that, but a lot of people don't understand like how much Chadwick really put into the African American community, the African community. The movies, especially Black Panther. Black Panther was, it was life changing. And the last time we saw a movie, I would say that was as life changing as that, was watching, Arsenio Hall and Eddie Murphy in Coming to America. So seeing the other side of, and having something that you can be proud of and all that, and the whole class, or the whole cast, not class, the whole cast, pretty much was African American producer, and the movie did so well around the world. It showed people, something about African Americans, something about Africans, other than, some of the negative stereotypes that Hollywood puts out, or, having, Africa is just blood diamonds and child soldiers and all this stuff. So it was something that changed us. And I don't mean to make it political, and that's the only really thing I'm going to say about that part, but it meant a lot to us. It had people around the world, even myself over here in Japan, buying dashikis and buying African gear, walking around the mall feeling proud and everything. So that's that part. And all the movies that he played in, he was kind of like the guy that played the roles that helped you see a better tomorrow. So his roles were never just crazy or just whatever. But he was very particular in the roles that he played, and generally those roles, really had a lesson behind them. They were metaphors for the struggle, metaphors for, and not just the struggle for African Americans, but the struggle for people in general. So the legacy that he leaves behind is just one of excellence. One of excellence, a very thoughtful, very very calculated career. So I guess one of the main points for his life is, and especially in today's world, is just realizing that pretty much everybody that you meet, no matter how much they smile, me too, including me being sensei, and always being positive and always being upbeat, and always helping everybody, doing the best I can, striving for, shooting for that mark, for that prize, and everything I do in life. But it doesn't matter how much I smile. It doesn't matter how much I do for other people, because I too have things that I go through. You too, you as well, you have things that you go through. So everybody, no matter how much we're smiling, no matter how much we're frowning, you just never know what somebody is going through. And not everything in life is like cancer, where you can kind of see somebody's body change, or when people were making fun of him because he got so skinny, and then they watched the movie and it's like, oh, maybe he got skinny for another role or something like that. But you just never know. So in our lives, especially in 2020, when so much craziness is going on between different factions, different parties, different political parties, different colors of skin, just remember that the people across from you, they are going through something. You might not see it, they might not ever tell you, but behind all the machismo, behind all the bravado, behind all of the memes, whether motivational or political, whatever they're posting on Facebook, they're going through some hurt, they're going through some pain, just like everybody else. And that's something to remember. And I think that's something that can really, his passing and realizing that is something that can bring us closer together, in my opinion. Just to know that everybody's going through something. For me as a martial arts instructor, not seeing my people come into the building, not working with, kids and adults every day, I know they're stressed. I get messages literally around the clock, 24/7, all days of the week, on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever, from people going through. They can't train physically, but what they did with me was stress relieving. It helped with their depression, with their PTSD, because we just never know what people are going through, and we never know what stage they are unless they let us know. So there's stages of cancer, there's stages of depression where people are close to suicide all the time, and you just never know. And we're on there making memes about them, bugging them about this and about that, when in reality we should be reaching out to people to make sure they're okay. Everything's not a game. Life is not a game that you can replay anyway. So but that's the first thing I wanted to talk about, is just remember, everybody's going through something. I'm going through something. I know I'm smiling all the time, making inspirational videos and everything, but I'm also going through things, right? So we all are. But the other thing I wanted to say about Chadwick and about us is leaving a legacy. So I'm sure him being terminal for a few years, that he lived every single day as if it was his last day. Even one of the interviews where he talked about the kids that were also dying from cancer that he visited, how he, let me see here. I know some people are commenting. Even one of the interviews, I don't know how to get to the comments, but that were also dying from cancer that he visited. But he was talking about some of the kids that were also dying from cancer, that were just that the parents and the doctor said they were hanging on just because they wanted to see his movie come out. And I remember I can remember when the Black Panther movie was announced and when it was coming out and everything. And I remember specifically saying, you guys know I'm a praying man most of the time. I remember specifically in my prayer to God saying, please let me live on earth long enough to see this movie at the theater. You know, um, and what does that say about his life and about his legacy? Where a guy in Okinawa, Japan, teaching martial arts, literally would pray to God and say, "Let me just live long enough to see this movie come out on the big screen." That says a lot. Have you ever done that for a movie? And he was talking about in an interview these kids that were dying, literally dying in their beds, wanted to live long enough to see his movie. That's what you call leaving a real legacy. That's what you call being excellent, right? We strive for excellence. We talk about being excellent. This man literally spent the last 4 years of his life terminally ill, knowing he was going to die, getting up and going to work, doing interviews, doing reality shows, whatever he had to do, working that crazy Hollywood life, working those crazy Hollywood hours. And he was dying, like literally dying, going to chemotherapy. And I have mentors and I have friends that are going through that even right now, and I can't identify with it. I don't understand it. I've never been through it. I've been through pain. I've been through a lot of sickness where I thought I was going to die, from physical injuries or from situations in real life, whether military or not. But I've never had to go through chemotherapy, so it's hard to understand. I mean, we all know, one day we're going to pass away, right? We know we're going to pass away. We might not know how, but this guy, Chadwick, literally knew he had just like his life was ending. He's 43 years old. How would you like to be 39 and terminal and realize that you're terminal? You are one of the biggest actors, one of the most well-known, maybe the most well-known black actor at the moment in the world. I mean, a young guy that went to the Morgan Freeman, the Denzel Washington level, in these past few years. But he still got up and he went to work. He still got up and he gave away, money to charities. He visited people in hospitals. He did so much stuff. And it's just mind-boggling. It's very mind-boggling. Let me see here. Let me wave to some people here. Let me know in the comments where you at, guys. Where you tuning in from. But we're talking about legacy here, and I know some people on this broadcast have had people, friends, family members, mom, dad, pass away from cancer, and they're our heroes. And I know it's my what's up, Tanid? Detroit City in the house. You just never know what people mean to you until they pass away, right? And unfortunately in life, we take a lot of things for granted. We take our family for granted. My stepdad, Roland D. Rogers, we call him Buck. He was a first sergeant in Vietnam. So he was leading troops in Vietnam for 2 tours. And I can remember my whole young life just hating almost every minute of his first sergeantism, busting into my room, waking me up in the morning, making me trying to make me be a man before my time. I just want to be a teenager, I just want to be young. But then after they're gone, everything that their legacy and everything that they passed on to you it's otherworldly. It's just golden. Like everything they said, what it really means. And you might wake up, 30, 20 years after they're gone and really realize what they were trying to tell you, what they were trying to teach you, like the wisdom behind it. And I think in the case of Chadwick, like the roles that he played, the excellence that he showed us, the wise words that he said in his interviews like it's like a good song. It's like a good rap song. Some of the analogies you don't even get them for like 5, 10 years. You listen to the song again and you're like, man, I didn't even get that for 10 years, but now I understand it because you went through some other things in life. And I think for his life, even for him dying at a young age of 43, that the wisdom as an actor, the wisdom as a public activist, as somebody in Hollywood, and also being a person of color in Hollywood, is something that there's wisdom in there that we might not even understand for a few more years. Like just going as, and I'm sure as we go back through a lot of interviews, they begin to play his movies a lot on television and Netflix and things like that, that will really, really, really get, really start to see how his legacy all came together. You know, it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate that people pass at a young age. People with such great talent, people with such big dreams, and it goes back to one of my mentors right now who's dealing with it, the bishop of my church, and he's been diagnosed for a while, battling and fighting it, and one thing that he always says that he learned 15, 20 years ago is he always says to us, don't die full, don't die full. The richest place in the world is the gravesite. All the hopes and the dreams, the books that people never wrote, the movies that they were too afraid to act in, the jobs that they didn't want to take, the inventions that they have in their heart and their mind, they just walk through life, and they just decide at some point that they don't want to fight hard enough to see it come to fruition. And so the greatest and the most successful place, not successful, the richest place in the world is the grave. But he always says, don't die full. Whatever book you have, whatever you want to go after in life, all of your dreams, do it now. Do it now. 43 years old. Chadwick's 43 years old. That's it. Think about how many other movies he could have made, but I want you to think about all of the things that he did do while he was still alive. He could have stopped 4 years ago, and we wouldn't have, some of the Marvel Cinematic Universe with him in it. He wouldn't be one of the biggest people in the world, right? He could have stopped 4 years ago and said it's too hard. I'm just gonna hang out and just lay in a hospital bed, and Lord knows that people that continue to fight and push through their terminal illness generally live a lot longer if they catch it fast enough, because they continue to find that purpose in helping other people and just doing those dreams and those visions that are in their heart, right? It's when we give up. It's when we give up, no matter if it's cancer or no matter what other problem it is in our life, it's when we give up that we truly start to deteriorate, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, everything else. So I'm proud of him because he taught us so many great lessons about how to endure. And, the things that I'm going through is just not as bad. They're just not as bad to me right now, no matter what I'm going through, because I've never had to go through that and still try to keep working, still keep a smile on my face, still keep a busy schedule. Not to say that my problems are any least or anybody's problems are technically worse, but just to put it in perspective. So, but let me hear from you guys. Let me know how you doing. I got Maurice Killens. He's in the ATL. Tanita in Detroit. Bernard Smith, one of my students from 12 years ago? Goodness, up in Charlotte, North Carolina. But thank you guys for watching. I don't know. It's one of those years. It's one of those years where the world is on fire, really. The world is on fire. We're losing heroes. Kobe's gone. the Black Panther's gone. It's almost all you can do is hope and pray and like, geez, what's gonna happen next? You know. But I know everybody out there, especially all of my students. I know you guys are pushing through. If you came and you hung around me for more than 5 minutes, I'm gonna tell you to keep moving forward. No excuses. You can do it. But keep your head up. Gotta keep your head up. There's people out there just like Chadwick. There's people out there that are looking for you to be successful because they believe in you. You're a role model for them. You're a role model for a lot of people that you don't even know. Okay, so keep pushing forward. It's worth it. You're worth it. They're worth it. And what you're striving for is worth it. That legacy that you're gonna leave behind. And right now, no matter what age you are, just think about the legacy you want to leave behind. Okay? Think about what you want people to say about you. Think about if you want work hard enough and be excellent enough that if it's your time to go, that I'm up here on the screen and I'm doing this for you. And I hope that I hope and pray that I live my life and strive hard enough and change enough people's lives through what I'm doing. And I've had thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of students that I've mentored and kids and people that I talked about business, and each one of them is very personal to me, like very personal. I do understand that I'm a mentor. It's not something that I step away from. It's not something that I take lightly. So I do know the role that I've been given and that other people have been given, and I hope that my efforts in life will leave a legacy that one of you guys would be on here talking about me, right? Just like I said for you, that you leave a legacy that I'll be on here talking about you, talking about your life and how you changed mine. Because a lot of you guys that are on here that are watching right now, you guys have changed my life. You might not know. You might have said something to me. You might have did something. You might have sent me a note on Facebook that said, man, when I was there and I missed training with you and, all this stuff, and you really changed my life or changed my kid's life. Whatever you said to me or, gave me a high five on a day when I was kind of sad like this, it changed my life, right? It gave me the fuel to move forward and keep trying to change other people's lives in a positive manner. And that's what it's really all about. Okay, so this celebration of his life that's starting to happen now is really about his legacy and about excellence, about believing in yourself, about fighting through adversity, pain, heartache, and even terminal illness to continue changing people's lives. So she said, Tanita said, you remember, you scared the heck out of me in English class when you sneezed. Yeah, I used to sneeze like that for a long time. I still do every once in a while, but now I'm old, so if I sneeze too hard, I'm gonna blow my back out. I ain't trying to do that. So now I'm at that older age where I gotta hold on to something really quick before I sneeze to make sure I don't hurt my back. I've done that before. You sneeze so hard you pinch a nerve. But thank you, everybody. What's up, Shawanda Morgan? But you guys continue to be excellent. Love you guys. Miss you guys from all over the world. This is a tough week for us, a tough year. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to grieve. So we all grieve in different ways. Don't be ashamed of that. Don't let anybody take that grieving time. Don't let anybody take your grieving time away from you. It's yours. It's a sacred period of time for you. Use it. Mine, yesterday I posted, 2 or 3 things about Black Panther and, what he meant to me. And that's fine. If I post some more, don't get mad at me and don't say, Sensei, quit posting all this Black Panther stuff. You let me grieve. That's what you do. Let me grieve, and I'll let you grieve the way you want to grieve. If you want to watch a marathon of his movies, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll post a few things and whatnot, but you know, it is what it is. All right, guys, wherever you are in the world, thank you so much. Just let me know where you're tuning in from. And do me a favor in the comments, put your favorite Chadwick movie in there. You know, of course, Black Panther is number one. I hope they took a little bit of screenshots or screen time of them to put in Black Panther 2 before they cast a new person. So I know they tend to work on a lot of movies together at the same time, even though it doesn't come out a few years later. But while they have all the cast in the same place, you know, for logistic purposes. I did recently watch the movie with, what was it, the Five Brothers or something like that, where they went to Vietnam. That was a crazy movie, and he did an excellent job in that. And yeah, he was a little bit skinnier for that role, and that's why everybody thought, you know, maybe he wasn't sick and he was just getting ready for that role or whatever. But yeah, it was an excellent movie. A lot of people did. Some people didn't like it, but I loved it. Man, that movie was crazy. But thank you guys. I'm going to go ahead and head out. I got to do some more preparation here. We got a hurricane coming in, I think tonight and tomorrow and Tuesday. So got to go ahead and finish wrapping everything up around the house. I already cleaned up around the gym. Did a little bit of structural support and whatnot. And I'm going to do it at the house. Get all that finished before my wife gets up and interrupts my live video. But thank you so much. Thank you, Tanita. What's up, Mikael Roy? One of my students, I call him Mick Pockets. He used to come to my classes with pockets on his uniform. It's like, yeah, you know, pockets in wrestling class, man. Nick D, one of my mentors for many, many years. Aaron Haddock, what's up, Ron Dunmore? Angela Harper. Gary Wright, one of my old buds from high school. Jared Howard, old student and extraordinaire out there. One of the toughest, funniest guys you ever meet. What's up, John Hazel? Just recently retired from the mighty Marine Corps. I'm Army, but you know I love me some Marines. Been teaching Marines and everybody for all these years. You guys be good. Love you guys. Sensei out. Peace. Until next time.